Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Welcome back to me. Took a little hiatus there, had some family stuff to deal with, but we are back in full swing now. Had a 3-0 day the last time I put out these WNBA plays. That was on Friday, August the 30th. We'll go through the record here in just a minute. Do want to give everybody the heads up that the Discord is live and it's currently free. It's going to remain free, but the picks that I'm putting in there are going to be going up on WAP.com starting this Friday, September 13th. So this is the soft launch. Let you guys know about that again and how you can go ahead and get hooked up with those plays. For now, let's go ahead and jump right into Tuesday's slate. As mentioned, 3-0 plus 2.62 units. Quick look at those bets. The Liberty won that game 2.5 points, and Indy also very hot right now. We'll talk about them tomorrow as we get into their game on Wednesday, but they are a team to back right now. Aaliyah Boston, however, we did go under for her rebounds in that game, hit that nicely. So now we are looking at 19.3 units on the season. And since the break, we are up about 13 units as well, about 13, almost 14 units in the last roughly 3-4 weeks. And that was with missing a number of days. So feeling pretty good about how we're going here. Let's jump into Tuesday, some previews and the picks I got. First game on the slate, we got the Lynx visiting the Dream in Atlanta. Tale of two teams. Now, I will say the Dream have their players back. Really not anybody except for Aerial Powers that we're going to be missing in this game. Lynx also super healthy. Everybody playing for them that you need to know about. So this is pretty accurate here. What we're seeing in terms of these season stats, this should hold true in this game as well in terms of the Lynx having a good offense and a very good defense. The Dream having a terrible offense and a good-ish middle of the pack, we'll call it defense. Both teams are going to play super slow. So we have a really low total here, under 160. I'm really not touching that in this game. The rebounds edge to the Dream. That's the one place on the floor that they're better than this Lynx squad, which is usually the case because the Lynx are not good at rebounding. And a look at how these teams have done since we've come back from that Olympic break, right? The Lynx really took off 9-1, 7-3 against the spread in the 10 games they played since they came back. And not the case here for Atlanta, who has played a few more games than most teams, 11 games since they've been back. Came out hot, 3-0, had some good wins in those first 3 wins. They got Rhyne Howard back. They've gotten Jordan Canada back. So they looked a lot better. And then they just rattled off a 2-6 record here in their last 8 games, failing to cover most of those as well. So they are not looking like a team to make a real big comeback like I thought they might. Probably still going to end bottom half of the league in this year. And I did want to show you why the Lynx probably going to win this game. It's 5.5, and I do like them. Might put a bet on that and throw it in Discord here in a little bit. Just didn't have time before we got the video up. I will say, if you look at the Lynx offense, everything they want to do, while the Dream are good on defense, or at least stingy and slow in the way that they play, not as good at limiting what this team wants to do. Mostly threes. If you can't defend the three-point line well against Minnesota, you're not going to do that well. It's just plain and simple. They do want to get out into the fast break if you miss buckets, and they do want to get points off of the turnovers when you give it to them. But I will say that most importantly is, can you stop the three-point line? And you can see here Atlanta, bottom 4th of the league in terms of the amount of attempts and makes that they give up from deep. That said, I told you the rebounding for Minnesota sucks, so I really wanted to come over here to Tina Charles, who's been very good since this team came back from Olympic break. I'm giving her the double-double, and the reason being this rebound line prop is just terrible odds. It's 9.5, minus 144. So to juice it up a little bit, let's give her the double-double. She's had double-digit points in every game since she's been back, and since everybody's been back from the Olympic break. And the rebound, she's gone over in 8 of 10 of those games, averaging 11.6. You look at the 2 that she did not get that against. It is the Lynx. She only played 20 minutes in that game. Didn't even have foul trouble. She just came out. I believe she got hurt for a little bit, came back in, but the minutes were way down. Then the other game was against the Fever, who don't miss anymore. They have the number 1 effective field goal percentage in the league now and have had it for some time now as well, the last like 20 games or so. So this is a team that's not going to allow a lot of rebounds in Indiana, because of the fact that they don't miss shots. So I'm giving her a little bit of a pass in the 2 that she missed in terms of getting this double-double since the break in these last 10 games. But like I said, Minnesota, 3rd worst in terms of their rebound percentage in the WNBA. So without their ability to really limit teams from getting on the offensive boards and definitely crashing the defensive boards, I'm going to go ahead and take Charles here on the double-double, minus 130. Other bet from this game is going to be Rhyne Howard, but I got to go under for her on the 3-pointers made. And she's been on a tear for sure. And there's a direct correlation between her shooting and Jordan Canada being in there so that Rhyne Howard is getting open a lot more easily, right? Because Jordan Canada does draw the defense in and is a good passer there at guard for the Dream. So with that in mind, it does seem like this number is high as a result of that, right? So in the last 11 games with Canada back, she's gone over this number in 7, averaging 4, which is what she needs to get in this game, right? So 7 of 11, really good percentage. Without Jordan Canada, only 3 of 14 that she's gone over and only averaging 1.9 made threes. I don't think there's that big of it shouldn't be that big of a jump. She shouldn't double the amount of threes she's making in this fashion. She's just been hot over the course of the last 3 or 4, let's say 5 games, right? This is the moment in time where I'm taking her to limit that streak, right? We've got Minnesota's defense second in terms of limiting 3-pointers made, less than 7 made on the season. So that would mean that if everything holds true to the averages here, Rhyne Howard would need to score more than half of her team's threes based on how many that this Lynx defense gives up. And they have the number 1 opponent 3-point percentage because they do get out and really defend so well. Partly because they don't defend well down low, which is another reason to back Charles and fade some of the guards and wings for this dream squad. And the proof is in the pudding with the 3 games that Rhyne Howard has played against the Lynx, right? You can see under in all 3, 4 threes made in 3 games, never going over this number. She had 3 in 1 game, 1 in another, and 0 in another. So I feel good about her maintaining that streak here. This is the one category that I would not be backing Rhyne Howard in against the Lynx. Second game is a tale of 2 seasons. We've got the Liberty, best team in the league, and the Wings, who bottom 4th for sure of the league. They have gotten Setu Sabali back, so they've looked better. They haven't been good enough as of late, to be honest. They won 3 games right when they got back from the break. They lost 3, they won 3, they lost 4. So it's not like they're really beating too many good teams or that they really deserve too much credit, even though Sabali would have helped if she'd been around for more of the season rather than just the last roughly 8 games. But overall, the Liberty have been on a tear. And the key thing here with the Liberty is we know they're tops in offense. We know they're going to shoot the 3. We know they're going to rebound really well. The only thing they don't do that well, to be honest, is I guess play fast. That's not even a bad thing. It's the only thing that they're not top of the league in is pace. So with that in mind, the Wings, awful on defense. They give up the most points in the league, worst defensive rating. Good shooting team, and they'll probably be a little bit better on offense. This 9.5-point spread doesn't scare me too much because the Liberty do cover this number very consistently on the road, especially. They have, I believe, 12-6 against the spread when they're on the road here, actually better than their home numbers, usually because their home spreads are 20 points. So it's tough for them to cover those. 13, 14 points for legitimately. So it's tough for them to cover at home, but on the road, when they get these under 10-point spreads, they're pretty good at covering. All that said, Wings are a little bit better than the sort of public perception because of the fact that they've gotten some of their injured players back to healthy. You look at the offense for the Liberty, though, this is going to be some pretty big advantages because the Wings not very good at limiting those fast break points. That's going to be huge here. And that's big reason why the Wings give up so many points in the paint is those points are coming off of transition. And that is where the Liberty score the most points in the league. We also know they score the most from 3 with the most attempts as well. Now the Wings defense is a bit better on the wing and out on the perimeter rather than down low where it's absolutely terrible. They give up the most paint points in the league. But what's interesting is they limit teams to the fewest post-up points per game. So any play that's considered a post-up, the Wings are very good at defending it. They just still give up that many points in the paint because of the opponent fast break points and things of that nature. So you got to keep all that in mind here. If you are trying to bet against the Liberty, this 9.5-point spread scares me both ways, to be honest with you. And here's the reason why. Points in the paint. It's just that simple. Now, the one place I should have said that the Liberty are the weakest is limiting points down low. That's really it. Now, Jonquel Jones, great rebounder, really ferocious player, not the most height. So it is easier for taller ladies to come in and grab those offensive boards against this Liberty squad. So in that would be the one area that you would think that the Wings might have a bit of an advantage and could take advantage of things. But even in the other areas where they need second chance points and they need to get putbacks and things of that nature, the Liberty do limit those to the tune of the best in the league. So what to do? I'm going to go with Ionescu in this one. She's been on a little bit of a downturn here. She's gone over a couple times in the last 5 games, but not really the same player in the last 4 or 5 games that she was. She came back from injury. Does seem to be fully back now, though. So what I like here is 20-plus points and the Liberty to win on the money line. That gets you plus 168 on FanDuel, half a unit on that play here. I've been waffling back and forth this whole time as I'm prepping this stuff for you guys, wondering which way to go. I will say you look here, this is shoutoutpropsmadness.com. This is the play type analysis that shows you what does this player do the most in terms of play type. and what is the other team worst, how good is the other team at defending that. So you look at PNR ball handler, spot up, free throws, transition, handoff, off ball screens. This is how Sabrina scores. Look at how bad the Wings are at defending all that stuff, right? Second worst in PNR ball handler, ninth in terms of spot up, which is fourth worst, third worst, worst, give up the most free throws, most transition points. Everything here is really in the favor of Sabrina. Interestingly, she hasn't played this team both times. That's the only 2 times that Stewie has played without Ionescu this season, was against this Wings squad. So we don't have any precedents here this year of her playing against Dallas, but I still feel like, especially getting out into transition, getting those buckets, running the pick and roll with Stewie and company and Jones, she should be able to get hers. Her core point line is at 18.5. So that's why this is plus 168. When you've got 20 plus points, it's a little bit of a bump in her points, but I'm going for it for a half a unit. If she can get 19, she can get 20. Last game of the night, we got the Sun in LA taking on this just totally tanking Sparks squad. What's interesting for the Sun, though, is they have not been as good on offense lately. Still the best defense in the league, still playing as slow as can be, and still a very good rebounding team, but just not very good at shooting the ball as of late, which is why they traded for Marina Mabry. So interestingly, they are not getting better. They've gotten worse at shooting, which is the opposite of why they made that trade. But I don't know if it matters. The Sparks squad doesn't seem like they care at all. Dearica Hamby doesn't really seem like she cares too much. She's not even shooting nearly as much as she was. Feels kind of intentional. So that's why, honestly, I don't even have a bet in this game. I just wanted to show you guys some of the matchup stuff here. The Sun on offense, they're going to be way better than this Sparks team in terms of getting turnovers, getting second chance points, and the rest, and the free throw rate as well for the Sun, which is what the Sparks do. The only thing they do well is this second overall free throw attempt rate. Other than that, they need to get points down low. But like I said, Hamby hasn't really been looking like she really gives it too much. So that's not a team that I want to back. And the Sun, they haven't been shooting the ball well enough for me to really want to back them on the road here. So this was just somewhat of a poo-poo game that I stayed away from. And that is all the time that I have for you guys. One more reminder, jump in that Discord. It's going to remain free, except for those picks that I'm dropping in there, all of them, which we are looking really good in the W right now. Some of those picks don't make it to the video. I just want to get these previews out to you guys and get you a few plays, but everything that you really want to see is in that Discord. So jump in there. Link is in the description of the video. And until I see y'all next, happy betting.